Washington XL 92.5 FM.
All right, today's new drug. We're at a familiar golf course, not the Players yet. We'll be there tomorrow. But today we are here at the Sawgrass Country Club. We're happy to be here as we get set for a day full or a week full of golf. We'll update you on the Haight Invitational. John Haight, one of the all-time good guys, and the UNF golf team always plays host to this fantastic golf tournament, and it comes up today. So we are glad you are with us. Anything else going on? We get to Bay Hill.
Yeah, I mean, there's Bay Hill. WrestleMania's coming up.
Did you see the Gators the other night?
The Gators are playing good basketball.
We'll kind of focus on those things, I think, today on the program. We joke, we kid. Obviously, a gigantic day in the day of legal tampering. The Jaguars very busy, as we thought they would be. We'll go through everything they did today. That'll be the crux of the program today, as you can imagine. I'm going to have Nick Morrow stop by. He is the AD here at UNF. He's such a good dude. And Scott Schroeder as well, the golf coach. A little bit later on, they got a little bit of a late start today. Had some weather in the morning. Turned out to be a beautiful day, as Hays was saying during the handoff. A little bit windy and cool, but it's a gorgeous day here today. So we'll update you on the Haight. And we're just glad to support a really cool local golf tournament. And that's what this is. That's why Helmets and Heels was here, and that's why we are here. So we are happy to be here on this Monday installment of the program. You know the big news by now. The Jags have added 8 players, according to various reports. Obviously, that can't be official till Wednesday at 4 o'clock when the league year begins, as you all know. But the reports are accurate. You know how this stuff goes. So we'll go through all those. We'll also go through the other big news of the day in the NFL. 2 quarterbacks. Well, if you count Geno Smith, 3 quarterbacks have a new home now. 3 teams have a new starting quarterback. We'll certainly get to that coming up on the program today, and all kind of fun stuff. I will say this. What you said on Friday, and I agreed with you, was dead on. I think you actually wrote it in your blog on Thursday night, and you and I talked about it on Friday. We were in agreement. This was going to be the plan. It now is clear. The plan was rebuild the foundation of your football team. Your stars are your stars. Trevor Lawrence is a star. Brian Thomas Jr. is a star. Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker are stars. You've got 2 good starting linebackers. You've got 2 pretty good running backs. You've got a good running back room. You've got some, but you had to rebuild, and I'm missing some guys.
Tyson Campbell. Yeah.
Tyson Campbell's a star. You've got 2 starting offensive tackles. But around that foundation is a big reason why you lost 18 of your last 23 games. So build the foundation around it. The phrase you used was quantity over quality, and that doesn't mean they're not quality players. I think your point was, and this what my point was, they're going to be guys that you don't necessarily know, you haven't heard of. They're not A-list names, but they will form what James Gladstone believes is the foundation of this football team, and that's what they did. So what you and I said on this program Friday, I think, is exactly what happened. We said 8 or 9 guys. Well, it's eight as we sit here.
Right.
We said 8 or 9 guys and not a lot of big names. And that was kind of the thesis statement of our program on Friday, and that's exactly what they've done. We'll go through all the names today that we have so far. But someone asked me earlier, do you like what they've done? I said, well, I do, but I'd be lying if I told you I can break down 6 of these players. I can't. There's some of these players that I hadn't heard of. I didn't know, I didn't know which exact guys they were going after. I had an idea of what kind of things they were going to do, but I didn't know the names, the whole name over game thing. I wasn't worried about that because I thought this is what they were going to do. So I can't talk intelligently about the guys, and I'd be lying if I tried to. I can tell you that the gist of what they're doing I like, and I'll explain why in a bit. First of all, your take on everything that happened, and again, kind of what you wrote in your blog on Thursday, it's kind of what happened.
Yeah, and James Gladstone, I thought at the Combine, kind of gave us a tell, by saying, I can tell you that the floor of this roster will be immediately improved.
That's a great phrase, the floor of the roster.
Yeah, and that's what they've done today. I don't think they ever planned or hinted that this was going to be some massive free agent bonanza in terms of elite names. First off, it's just not a great year in free agency. I'm not sure that the high dollar deals that you're seeing today are going to be deals that these clubs are going to be proud of a year from now. But beyond that, this was more about, to your point, they have their core. They need to strengthen the supplemental levels of this roster. And look, they believe in the draft. That's where their stars are going to come. The 5th pick, in their opinion, is going to be an immediate star, or somebody that's going to be a high-impact player immediately with the trajectory of being a future star. They're going to think that about the high second rounder, probably the 2/3. So, what they're doing today is getting some competition at some key spots and also filling out the rooms at tight end, for instance, where, yes, you've got Brenton Strange and they're excited about him, but you go add Hunter Long and Johnny Mundt on very economical deals to round out that room. So this was more about the back half of the 53 today, as it should have been, because all these deals are very economic, and none of these deals are going to be albatrosses. Even if the players don't really work out, they haven't committed that much to any one singular player. But they have gone out and added, I think, an impact nickel corner in Jordan Lewis. He's a tough player. That's a good move. Obviously, you get a lineman like Patrick McCarry. He can play, around really any spot. But I would think that he's coming here for at least for now to be a right guard, even though that's where he's played the least. But that's the biggest void. Eric Murray is a starting safety, I would imagine, for the Jaguars based on the depth right now and the contract. Not that it's, again, significant. It's less than $10 million a year. And then you go through the rest of it, and I think there's some intriguing, role players, reserve kind of guys in there. So they did what they needed to do. This was never going to be what the Patriots have done, who had the most cap space and got a really key defender at every level. The Jaguars never hinted that that's what they were going to do, and what they did say they were going to do, they've done. And I'm sure there'll be more coming. But this was never going to be a six-man class where three of them were three of the most expensive guys on the market. This was always going to be, at 8 to 12 men arriving on this roster.
And this is a statement, I believe, remember, this is a brand new regime. Tony Baselli is in as the executive vice president. James Gladstone is the architect now. He's the builder. He's the general manager. Liam Cohen's going to coach this team. This is an entirely different group. Okay, it's an entirely different group that's going to build the house. Okay, it's going to rebuild this house. And I think they sent a pretty clear message today. They're going to build through the draft. This is I'm not saying these are some good players here, but the stars are going to come through the draft. If you look at the best players on their football team, Trevor Lawrence, Josh Hines-Allen, Trayvon Walker,
all of them,
the two offensive tackles. If you look at the best the Brian Thomas Jr., if you look
Tyson Campbell.
If you look at the best players on their football team, it's guys they drafted. And so very clearly, that's what they're going to do. And so these guys, and I'm going to go through all of them one by one. I'm going to add one guy. You named three pretty clear starters: Jordan Lewis, Patrick McCarry, and Eric Murray, which I totally agree with. I'm going to add one guy to the list. I'm going to add Diami Brown. Here's where I think they are on Diami Brown, which I kind of know where they are on Diami Brown. They think that's a guy they might really have something. This is a one-year prove-it deal. They got 1 year for $10 million. He's a guy that really thinks he believes, and they believe in him. He was blocked a little bit by Terry McLaurin. He was blocked. Again, it all kind of happened fast there. Jaden Daniels got there, but they believe there's really something there with him. So I'm going to add him to your group of three, whether he's the third receiver, whatever role he has as a very important receiver on this team. I think there's four guys, and that doesn't mean the other guys won't contribute. But to your point, I'm going to add a fourth guy. So we're going to go through every one of these guys one by one. But again, 8 new players for the Jags have been reported. We're going to go through the dollars they're going to get. We're going to go through what impact they think they'll have. We think that's the story today. Other news in the NFL, Sam Darnold to the Seahawks. That was reported about the same time the Geno Smith to the Raiders thing was being reported nationally, or was reported nationally. The word was, the Seahawks believed they had a deal with Sam Darnold, or they wouldn't have done the deal with Geno Smith. So that's not a real surprise. Justin Fields to the Jets. The Jets really wanted him. The Steelers weren't sure if they wanted him. The Steelers could have locked that up before the end of the season if they had believed. They weren't sure they had the right guy. And now when the Steelers get Metcalf, which is a major story, Metcalf and Devontae Adams changing teams is a major story in the receiver realm. It'll be interesting. So a lot of big stories going on. I would say DK Metcalf, Devontae Adams, Laramie Tunsil, Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, Justin Fields switching teams.
Yeah.
That's the big stories.
Tunsil to Washington.
Yeah, Tunsil to Washington, yep, for 3 draft picks that are headed back to Houston. I would say that's the big story in my mind. That's the big story of stuff that is not Jaguar related. But again, today's the NFL day. We'll go all through that again. You will hear from Nick Morrow. We're here for 2 hours today, the UNFAD. He'll talk all about this tournament, how important it is. Scott Schroeder, too, if we have a chance to get Scott in here. Again, he's coaching his team right now. They started at 12:30. So my guess is they'll finish around 5 o'clock, 4:30 or 5, and we'll certainly.
It probably helped that daylight savings time kicked in.
That's exactly.
They can play till 7:30.
And they didn't have to rush. For that reason, they didn't have to rush. Do want to remind you, all week long, by the way, there's another golf tournament in town, too. Did you know?
That's right.
Yeah, there's another one. So beginning tomorrow, all of our programs will be live from the Players' Championship from the Palm Beach Village area most of the time, and we're really looking forward to that. It's going to be a fun Players. Watching Bay Hill got me excited about it, got me ready to go. I was watching, by the way, when Russell Henley chipped in for Eagle. You weren't watching at the time.
I was not.
I felt so bad for Colin Morikawa. Honest to God, I did, because he was holding on a one-shot lead. It looked like worst-case scenario, he was probably going to extra holes, and Henley from the rough banged in. By the way, if it doesn't go in,
it had to be 20 feet past.
It's in the water probably.
Yeah.
I mean, it's way past.
So fast.
And it hit the pin and went in. So we'll talk more golf. But again, so a lot of golf coming up all week long. We love talking golf on the radio station. But today's the day to talk Jaguar football. When we come back, let's go through some of the specific guys. 8 guys so far we know about. What will their role be? How will they fit in? What kind of money are they getting? All that comes up. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make, and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is, and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
I want you to promise me something. I want you to play life just like you played that game today. So when that final buzzer of life goes off, you'll have no regrets.
1010XL.
Mia here. Getting more is great, and that's what makes this sale so great. It's a sale on top of a sale, and it's going on now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Get $0 down and just $288 per month for a pre-owned 2022 Toyota Corolla. Or you choose a pre-owned 2021 Camry, RAV4, Tacoma for $0 down and $388 per month. You can even choose no payments till July 2025. Shop in person on Atlantic Boulevard, just a quarter mile east of 295, or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com.
Tired of seeing the signs of aging in the mirror? Fine lines, sun damage, redness? They don't have to be part of your future. I'm Dr. Mark Capel, a board-certified dermatologist, and I can help you look and feel your best without invasive surgery or painful treatments. Imagine rejuvenating your skin in a relaxing, comfortable environment with minimal to no downtime. Smooth out fine lines, even skin tone, and restore that youthful glow. Find out how to look and feel your best at Dermagnify.com. Dermagnify.com.
This is Hays Carlyon from my friend Holt at Harold and Harold. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harold and Harold make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 15th.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, buddy, you look worried.
Worried? I'm apoplectic!
You're what now?
I'm freaking out, Jason. Stupid water heater crapped out, so I haven't showered since Thursday. I start smelling a little funky, blow my big corporate job interview tomorrow, I'll end up settling for some dead-end career selling spatulas on the internet.
Dude, stay cool.
There's nothing cool about a cold shower, Jason. I mean, I know how that sounds, but
Bueller Air and Plumbing can get a new water heater installed today. The day you call. You could be smelling fresh again by dinner time.
wait, you can do that?
Put on these sunglasses. Whoa. Is that cooler?
Oh, yeah.
Well, life moves pretty fast. If you spend much more time smelling like this, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Ahead, we build platforms for digital business. We help create your platform for digital business by weaving together advances in cloud infrastructure, intelligent operations, and modern applications. Digital business is comprised of 5 pillars. We call them imperatives because they're a must-have, not a nice-to-have. We enterprise cloud, integrated security, scaled DevOps, intelligent operations, and relentless automation. Need help with digital transformation? Ahead. Learn, grow, achieve.
Give us your hot take.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
On the 1010XL text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm awake and I speak English, so yeah, I do know what you're saying.
Be part of the conversation. 641-1010.
Hey Jacksonville, Lauren here for Big Chief Tire. Tax season is the perfect time to invest in your vehicle. Use your refund to tackle overdue tire replacements, brake repairs, or routine maintenance. Big Chief Tire's skilled technicians ensure every dollar counts, keeping your car running strong. With 5 convenient locations around town, fair prices, and trusted expertise, they've got you covered. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule an appointment today. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Hi, I'm Jeff Breyer, president of Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring.
And I'm Zach Breyer. When my dad started in business in 1990, I wasn't even born yet.
That's true, and after 35 years and nearly 20,000 satisfied customers, we literally have a showroom in every neighborhood.
So whether you need more outdoor living space with a glass or screen enclosure, or you're looking to transform your home with new flooring, we've got you covered.
Visit our websites, or better yet, do yourself a favor and stop by one of our showrooms on Phillips Highway to experience the Lifetime difference and receive 20% off your purchase now through March.
Here's good advice from your friends here at 1010XL. I'm Frank Frangie. The next time you need to send a gift for a birthday, anniversary, wedding, or just for the fun of it, call the experts at Kuhn Flowers. For over 75 years, Kuhn Flowers does it right.
Catch Gators baseball all season long on 1010XL. Pitched by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. And Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Florida Gators. 1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
Now, let me tell you what's going on at Best Bet. Weekends full of winning. $1,000 high hands every 30 minutes. Every Friday from 10 in the morning to midnight. $500 high hands every Saturday from 10 to midnight at all Best Bet locations on the weekends. And the Race to a Race is in full swing. The fastest to knock out the hands wins the big money. I'm telling you, great things going on at the Best Bet. 3 locations on the First Coast. St. Augustine's the newest one. That is a beautiful room down there right off of I-95. Orange Park is off 17. You can see it right from the road, both of those. And, of course, on Monument Road, that is the Jacksonville location. Outstanding locations. That is the Best Bet. Frangie and Carlyon on location. JJ LaSelva back at World Headquarters. We are live here at Sawgrass Country Club, right across the street from the Players Club, where we'll be the TPC Stadium. Of course, we'll be there starting tomorrow. All of our programs we'll hear on the radio station during the day. We'll be here throughout the course of the day. Tuesday through Friday. But today we're at the Haight Invitational, a terrific college golf tournament, one of the best ones in the country, by the way. And we're here every year. Helmets and Heels was here earlier today. We're here now. Nick Morrow, the AD at UNF, will come join us for a little bit, as will Scott Schroeder, if he can, the coach. But the news of the day is the NFL legal tampering day begins. Really, free agency begins today. It just can't be announced until by the teams and by the league until Wednesday. But today's all the news. Here are the 8 names that have signed with the Jaguars. Cornerback Jordan Lewis from the Dallas Cowboys. He got 3 years, $30 million. Nick Mullins, a backup quarterback from Minnesota most recently, formerly of the 49ers, 2 years, $6.5 million. Tight ends Johnny Munt from Minnesota, 2 years, $55. Tight end Hunter Long from the Rams, 2 years, $5 million. Safety Eric Murray, he's a good player now, 3 years, $22.5 million. Wide receiver Diami Brown, that's one I want you to keep an eye on. Of all these, I want you to keep an eye on him. 1 year, $10 million, but he's a guy, again, keep an eye on. Maybe the best player they signed was Patrick McCarry. He got 3 years, $37.5 million. He will start at one of those inside spots. We'll figure out which one. And another offensive lineman, Chuma Edoga, I think I'm saying that right, from the Dallas Cowboys. 2 years. I didn't get his number. I didn't get his money, but 2 years.
We're still waiting on it.
We're still waiting, but a 2 year deal, and we're still waiting on the money. So Lewis, Mullins, Munt, Murray, Long, Brown, McCarry, and Edoga. That's the 8 right now. New Jaguars that we know. Some trends. Everybody on this list is between 25 and 31. There's nobody that's in their final years in the league. There's also no 22 or 23-year-olds in this list. Hays said it best. It brings up the floor. It brings up the floor of the roster and the foundation of the roster. Patrick McCarry will start at one of those spots. Hays made the point earlier that he played right guard the least in his career. Here's some numbers for you. 672 starts at left tackle, 832 starts at left guard. Snaps, I'm sorry. That'd be a lot of games, wouldn't it?
He's 219 years old.
672 snaps at left tackle.
The Jags have signed a vampire.
832 snaps at left guard. 683 snaps at center. 272, that was funny, at right guard. So that's the least, but that may be where he plays. 1,206 snaps at right tackle. So that is obviously what he's played the most. But he could play center. He can play all the spots. My guess is he plays one of those guard spots. You'd have to guess right guard for now. But Chuma Edoga is also a guy that plays all over. He's a tackle by trade, but he's played inside. He's not necessarily a starter, whereas McCarry obviously will be a starter and was a starter for that very good Ravens line at left guard last year, by the way. So McCarry will be a starter. I don't think there's any doubt Jordan Lewis will be a starter. We're seeing as a slot corner. So if that's what he has been. He's been a nickel corner. If that's the case, 3 years, $30 million, he may play outside. We'll find that out. But I wonder, does that mean Jarian Jones gets the tryouts, gets a look outside? We don't know how the new staff feels about the existing players. But Jordan Lewis, to your point, will start somewhere. Patrick McCarry, my guess is right guard today. Like you said, Hays will start somewhere. Eric Murray is going to be a starting safety. There's no doubt they were worried about their safety position, and he's clearly going to be a starting safety. The 2 tight ends, Munt and Long, will back up Brenton Strange, but there's an awful lot of 12 and 13 personnel in the league, meaning 2 tight ends and 3 tight ends. Interesting, Luke Farrell got 3 years, $20 million to go to the 49ers. So he's a guy that's a big physical blocking tight end that formerly was of the Jaguars, so people have a lot of respect for him. So my guess is, as you said, they raised the floor. The overall foundation of this football team will be better. My guess is Lewis starts. My guess is McCarry starts. Lewis starts either inside or outside at cornerback, possibly slot corner. McCarry at one of the offensive line spots, interior. I'm going to guess right guard today. And again, Murray will start at safety. I don't think there's much doubt about that. And I would keep an eye on Diami Brown. Remember now, we don't know who their receiver. We really don't know, other than Brian Thomas Jr., what they will do at wide receiver. Gabe Davis, will he have a bounce back year? We will see. Parker Washington, will he continue to emerge? We will see. There's no doubt in my mind they're going to draft a receiver. We'll see how high they draft a receiver. I wouldn't be surprised if they address it again in free agency, a lower level guy. But I think Diami Brown, for that reason, gets into the mix as well. That's how I think all these guys will be used. We gave you the money. We gave you the names. I'd keep an eye on Edoga, too. Remember, they had to get more physical, Hays, in the interior of the offensive line. They had no choice. You had to get more physical in the inside of that offensive line. So I don't think they necessarily got Edoga just to sit on the bench. I think at least he's going to get to, I believe, compete for one of those 3 spots. McCarry played some center. Okay, he's actually played. He's had 683 NFL snaps as a center. Could I see him at center and Edoga at right guard? Yes, I could. And again, I don't know what the plan is. Or frankly, I don't even know if they have one yet. It may be compete. But Mitch Morris just retired. He was your center. Luke Fortner's on your football team. He was a center for a while, but he struggled. Here comes Patrick McCarry, who's a really big, solid, physical football player. He's 6'5", 305, but he plays bigger than that. A big physical guy who has 683 NFL snaps as a center. I could see him being their center. Again, they'll tell you what the plan is. They are signing by Wednesday some versatility, and I think that jumps off the page as well.
Yeah, without a doubt. And again, they still have 10 draft picks, so I mean, this is just, we're just getting started in terms of the new Jaguars that'll be arriving by the time they get to training camp. And, again, they have got, let's just start at left tackle. Walker Little has never won a job in training camp. So that is something where you need to push him. Like, even if the plan is he's going to be the left tackle, he needs to be pushed. That would be better for the organization. It would be better for the organization if Anton Harrison got some good competition. I think they'll do that. And yeah, you bring up a great point with McCarry at center. That could be the spot. Obviously, they're going to invest in that interior offensive line in the draft. We believe it. I don't think it'll be the 5th pick, but I think it certainly could be the 2nd rounder, and I'd be really surprised if they haven't taken an offensive lineman by the time they leave the 3rd round, having made 4 picks. So, and again, that's a sweet spot to get a center or a guard. So, yeah, I think you look at the offensive line, they've added competition. They've added guys that, McCarry will start somewhere, like you said. Adoga, I think, at worst is the swing tackle. And, and that's a need. If you can have a swing tackle that is, that has experience starting in this league, again, Walker Little is, he's had injuries and things like that. So, and Harrison. So, yeah, it makes sense. And then, they've remade the tight end room. It's a great day for Brenton Strange. Yeah, it is. Because you now know that you're the guy. I mean, and I don't think I know it's a great tight end class, and maybe they take one in the, 4th, 5th round. They probably will. But I think what this tells you is they feel like Brenton Strange is going to, carry the bulk of the receiving responsibility at that position. And then they'll have a couple guys that are more, to your point, inline blockers. I mean, you look at Long and Munt, they I think combined have 70 catches. I think Long has I think he has 8 career receptions.
Yeah, Munt's got 65
and
catches.
Munt has like 65, yeah. So, I mean, and he's been in the league for 8 years.
And Munt's been around. He's 30 years old, right?
So, Mullins is a good, capable backup. Again, what do you look for there? You look for somebody that can come in and keep you afloat. He should be somebody, if he had to start, at 3-4 games, he can probably get you a win or two. So, Mullins has been around. He started, so that makes sense. That's a good, 2 years, $6.5 million. That's what you want to be paying for a backup. And you mentioned the safety position is just a disaster. So to get a player like Eric Murray, I don't know if he's going to be a star here. We'll have to see. But somebody that was Houston starting safety for the Texans last year makes a lot of sense. I really like Jordan Lewis. He was somebody, when he was in the draft, I did a lot of work on Lewis, and I thought he was a really strong player. Obviously, Dallas, he spent his entire career there.
Could he play outside?
I think he's probably, my guess is they view him as the slot, and Jarian they like enough to try on the outside.
And again, this new staff, the Anthony Campanile hasn't even had a chance to coach Jarian Jones yet. So we'll see what he and his staff think of existing players when they get for OTAs and do that period.
And I think you hit on something. I think that they really want it to be competitive in camp. They don't want, there will be some guys, obviously, because of their contract status, that their role. They're starters, they're stars on the team. But I think they want to create an uncomfortable environment, as they should. It's a new group running the show, and you want the players to be as buttoned up and on edge as possible. We saw it in 2017 when Coughlin came in as EVP. It went from being romper room to all of a sudden it was a serious organization, and it made a big difference. And I think that, with Baselli's guidance, but also how Liam Cohen and James Gladstone want to go about building the team, I think from a culture standpoint, they want guys to earn it. And a guy like Walker Little, who, again, has never won a job in training camp, but is your presumed starting tackle. I think those are the guys they want to push them. And you hope they come through it. But if they don't come through it, you've signed some guys that can get out there and hold their own.
And let me say this to your point. As you see this group of 8, all right, that in addition to Kirk, Ingram, Reynolds, Mitch Morse, who retired, Ronald Darby, Devin Duvernay, guys who aren't going to be on the team. But as you see this group of 8, I'm going to focus on these guys. James Gladstone looks like he's going to be fantastic, smart, analytical, ahead of his time. Liam Cohen, I can't wait to watch him. I've enjoyed both times I've had Liam on the show. The one time we had James on the show, I really like who they are. They're regular guys. I think they're smart as heck. I think it's a really smart group. But I don't know either one of them very well. I'm going to get to know them, and I look forward to that. I respect what they're doing and where they are, and I can't wait to. But I know Tony Baselli. Tony's one of my closer friends. I sat next to him in a booth calling games for 11 years. We were close friends before that. We did a year of radio together. I know how he thinks. And it really, and he said this, these are no secrets, but he said this on the air every time he's been interviewed. It bothered him that they weren't more physical. It bothered him that those lines of scrimmage weren't more physical. He said it well before he was in a decision-making role with the team, when he was just a broadcaster sitting next to me calling the game. It really bothered him that those lines weren't more freaking physical. I mean, to his very core, Hays, you heard it when he was on with me at the Combine. He got going on it again. To his very core, competitive and physical, because that's still a game. You can pass and catch and run and kick field goals and get 2 feet in bounds and all you want. But at the end of the day, who's holding the trophy now, by the way? The most physical team in the league. And it's still a game of who's the more physical team in the trenches. And I'm guessing James Gladstone and Liam Cohen think the same way. I know how Tony thinks. And I think when I look at these guys they brought in, I think my sense is I don't know anything in the world about Johnny Munt or Hunter Long. I'm not sure I'd ever heard of either guy, if I'm being honest. But I'll bet they're damn good physical blocking tight ends. I'll bet you. And without even knowing.
Right. And they know him.
Yeah.
Long came from the Rams.
Right.
Who,
that's right.
Obviously, that's all
right.
that's all you need to have
that's
on
right.
your resume for the Jaguars to fall in love with you.
And Munt was with Udinski.
Yeah. And then, Hunter Long, then Munt comes from the Vikings.
Yeah.
Where Udinski was,
right,
like you said.
right.
So, they know what they're getting in these 2 tight ends. They're
right.
good fits for them. And that's the important thing, too. When you're looking at free agency and you're looking for these lower level guys, you need guys who have unique skill sets for what you want to do. And I think you're seeing a very good cohesiveness in these coaches, even though they're young, and this GM that's a young man. They are pulling from their experiences, and Udinski, they are pulling from those experiences with having worked with a lot of these guys from prior years.
So if you combine what I think is priority number 1, and that's get physical, man. Get physical in those trenches. If you combine that with guys, to your point, Hays, who they know are that, you wind up with this 8-man group. And I think that's, and again, I'm not going to sit there and say, yeah, he's great. I know, I've watched him.
Yeah, these guys that they're signing today, they don't have to be great.
Yeah.
Just be adequate.
Right. But
be adequate players. That's all you got to do.
And I think they fit that, though. They fit, be adequate in what, to your point, what they're asked to do. So we'll continue to track it again. 8 guys: Jordan Lewis, Nick Mullins, Jordan Lewis, a cornerback, Nick Mullins, a backup quarterback, Johnny Munt and Hunter Long are tight ends, Eric Murray, in all likelihood, a starting safety, Diami Brown, that's the one I want you to keep an eye on. I think he's a receiver, that there's something special there, they think. 2 offensive linemen, Patrick McCarry, who we sense is going to start at one of those spots, Chuma Udoga, who could as well. 8 players so far have been reported to be brand new Jacksonville Jaguars, so it's going to be fun to watch. I will say this: we're going to take a break and come back and visit with my friend Nick Morrow for a little bit. But I will tell you this: I'm intrigued where the league has gone in these last 3 or 4 days. We haven't had a chance to talk about Geno Smith to the Raiders. We haven't had a chance to talk about Sam Darnold to the Seahawks. 3-year deal, $110 million, by the way. They believe in him. Justin Fields, the Jets. How will that play out? And did the Jets say, screw it, we're going to find a young quarterback and he's going to be our guy? A lot of fun stuff going on in the league. DK Metcalf to the Steelers. The Steelers rarely give a king's ransom for a player. I think somebody in Pittsburgh finally said, enough's enough. We usually draft. Screw that. Let's go get the best receiver on the market or one of those, and let's go try and win right now. Who the quarterback's going to be, you don't know. You hear whispers of Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, Fields is gone now, so that means it's got to be Russell Wilson if it's not Aaron Rodgers. So a lot of stuff going on in the league, and we'll certainly get to it. But the big news, 8 new players for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll take a break. We're live at the Haight. We're here at Sawgrass. In a moment, Nick Morrow, the UNF AD, joins us. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
The Players Championship is the biggest PGA Tour event you can win.
If you can't make it to the Players, let 1010XL bring the Players to you with Southeast Orthopedic Specialist leaderboard updates. Teed up by Renewal by Anderson, custom windows and doors.
The Deck Guys.
And Taco Lou.
This is Hays Carlyon, here to help you break free from the chains of pest infestation. The talk of this town is Kingfish Pest Control. By now, many of your neighbors have already joined the Kingfish family, leaving their homes and lawns protected and pest-free. Now it's your turn. Call Kingfish Pest Control and say goodbye to termites, ants, mosquitoes, and other annoying pests. Trust me, you'll get exceptional service and understand why your neighbors and I use Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. Went smooth as silk. Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. Was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Don't miss the Players Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious bites to the Sawgrass Splash. There are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scotty Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Tired of changing out bad sod year after year? Get it done right with Roundtree Sod. Big or small, they have it, and always supplied farm fresh. For a lush, legendary green lawn, call 7414-SOD for a free estimate. 7414-SOD.
There's a lot on the line in a divorce. Your home, savings, maybe even your kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions it can take, you need a partner you can count on. I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. Don't let divorce take more than it has to.
Offices in Jacksonville. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's attorneys. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Rick Julius, licensed in Pennsylvania only. Online at CordellCordell.com.
Looking for comfort with who you work with? Remember, Florida Home AC only hires the best. Background checks and drug screenings for all their technicians, so you can be confident when you choose Florida Home AC. Exceptional services, their guarantee at Florida Home AC.
Hacker here, and as most of you know, I'm now in Awaken 180's free maintenance support for life. 122 pounds gone, and that number on the scale hasn't crept up a pound. I didn't just choose Awaken 180 because of the weight loss. I chose Awaken 180 to keep the weight off. I wasn't going to put in the work, the highs, the achievements, just to watch it slip away after the program stopped. I wanted a solution, and boy, I sure found it. Awaken 180 is life-changing and life-altering. Over 120 pounds down in just 10 months. Now I'm in the maintenance program. I still get the coaching that I need. I still get the motivation that got me 120 pounds down, and I'm not gaining it back. If it's time for you to lose the weight like it was for me, go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com. If I can do it, you can do it. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
She's seen and heard all over 1010XL's video and social channels.
Whether the big cats are at the bank or on the road, I'm there too. Follow my updates all season long, on air and online.
All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota.
This is Hays Carlyon for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Credit Union in the 2024 Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards. And it's easy to see why. I go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the new Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Joe C. for Preferred Roofing, reminding you your roof is more than just felt and shingles. It's a system that not only keeps your home dry, but also impacts your heating and cooling bills. Preferred Roofing and Construction is a GAF Master Elite roofing contractor lauded for having the ability to educate and inform homeowners on their options. Why GAF and Preferred Roofing? They're veteran-owned and operated with ties to Duval for decades. A family business ready to make sure your family has a good roof over its head. Log on, preferredroofingjax.com.
Good morning, beat freaks. Who's ready to move? Let's start this day right.
Tasha's morning dance parties are meeting rave reviews.
Lose your phones and find your groove.
They need an ops manager to help their community dance the morning away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The 2025 NFL season is right around the corner, and the Jags are building something special. A fresh team, a new culture, and a stadium that's going to change the game. Be there to witness head coach Liam Cohen and the rest of the coaching crew in action by securing your season tickets today. Become a member to get access to exclusive experiences, VIP events, and more. Visit Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you at the bank this fall.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
Hi, welcome back to the program. We're live at the Haight. Our friend John Haight stopped by, as he always does, to say hello. John's like one of the best fans of the show, by the way. In addition to this little stuff he does for UNF, he's one of the best fans of the show. Great to see John. Nick Morrow joins us in a minute, the athletic director at UNF. This is the best college golf tournament in the country, by the way. We're proud to be here every year. Do have to update you. A ninth guy committed to the Jags, center Robert Hainsey from the Bucks. A 3-year, $21 million deal, $13 million guaranteed. So I think the Jags have their center to replace Mitch Morse, and we'll certainly get to that coming up.
Interesting story. He was a starter there for 2 years. Wasn't a starter last year,
right?
But obviously somebody that Liam Cohen's very familiar with.
Yep. So he'll be a starter here, I would imagine. We'll get to that in a bit. But let's get to golf for a second. This is an amazing golf tournament every year. I'm amazed at the teams that are here, how passionate people are at the Sawgrass Country Club. Nick Morrow is the AD here who joins us now. Nick, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. I appreciate being out here. It's beautiful now. It was a little dicey here this morning, though. I tell you what.
Yeah. You're proud of this event, though, aren't you? And you should be. This is, as collegiate golf invitationals go, this is about as good as it gets.
Yeah, we're a top 10 collegiate tournament, and our goal is just continue to move up the board. And so when you got John Haight, who's well known throughout the country when it comes to college golf, and all these college coaches that have been here coaching at their schools for decades are grinning and smiling ear to ear when they see Mr. Hayes. Is always really cool, and we want to keep growing this thing. We moved it to March this weekend last year, so 3 days of 18 that goes straight into TPC because all the teams are going to hang out tonight. We're doing a beach party right after this round over across the street, Sawgrass Country Club, their beach club. And then tomorrow they're all going to the practice round. And when you add other elements to it, that's what attracts big-time college programs. And the fact also Q schools played on this course attracts big-time programs. So you got the likes of Texas and Alabama and South Carolina and in North Carolina. And there's a lot of big-time programs here and a lot of big-time future pros that are playing this week.
And this golf course, East-West, you're playing East-West, right? This golf course, it's one of the best golf courses in the country. People don't know about it because we know the stadium, but it was played here before it was played at the stadium. This is a magnificent golf course, which I know you know.
It might be one of the hardest right now, too, with the way this wind's blowing.
The wind is howling out here.
Yeah, it might be easier to play across the street right now.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
Give us an update. How are the Ospreys doing?
This hasn't been our best performance at the Haight that we've had, and we've always been very competitive this tournament, but we're a little down this year when it comes to our golf program. Still can get into the NCAAs, though, with a win at conference, and we'll be right in the mix with the conference championship. But we're not in position really to get in at-large this year. But Scott Schroeder, and he'll recruit really hard. We graduated one of the best classes we've ever had at UNF, which is saying a lot. And then right before the fall semester started, our number one golfer decided to quit and take the year off. So it put us in a tough spot, but we'll be fine. We'll rebound. We'll be good.
I talked to Scott at the Rumble for a little bit, the JU UNF basketball game. And for people that don't know, and I'm not just saying this because we're here and because Nick's here, this is truly one of the best mid-major golf programs in the country. And again, I think people that follow golf know, Frank's just buffing them up. I'm not. I think it's true. Scott, listen, you're going to have rebuilding years. I mean, you can't, it's not possible, not just in a mid-major, anywhere. So I think he's entitled to a rebuilding year.
Yeah, I mean, he's been at NCAA regionals every year that I've been at this university, which is 14 years, and it even started before I got here. Yeah. You go around the country, I don't know how many programs, period, can say that. Right. I don't care what level you're at. And so, yeah, he's done a tremendous job, and, look forward to the future, too. And now with the roster limits coming into play under this new NCAA model, everybody can only carry 9 roster spots. Yeah. While your big P4 top 10 teams are carrying 13, 14, 15 guys on their roster. So now all of a sudden they've got to cut a bunch of people out. Well, I bet you the back half of some of these rosters like Texas and Alabama, Florida, are pretty darn good. You know, and we are going to be a great destination for a lot of high caliber athletes. And so we'll have our pick of who we want to bring in the program to get us back into the top 25.
What else is going on campus with the spring sports?
We had a busy weekend this past weekend. Outdoor track season officially here. We host the Bob Hays this weekend, which is always a historic high school event that will be at Hodges Stadium. And we've had beach volleyball, baseball, and softball all full swing right now. Our beach volleyball program had a couple more rank wins this weekend. Swept South Carolina, swept USF, swept FIU. They're 18th, 19th in the country right now. We actually probably will move up when the rankings come out this week. They're having a tremendous start. Baseball and softball start conference play this week. We got a little River City Rumble baseball version starting on Friday. So, that's going to be exciting to get into conference play now. We had a great, strong non-conference season, but we're excited to get conference play going.
Baseball's pretty good. You always hope they are, and won the one game against Notre Dame. Then I think when they went to Gainesville and took them to the bottom of the ninth, I told Merck, okay, you can see it. They're pretty good, aren't they? They're like legitimately pretty good.
Yeah, no, they're huge improvement. If you watch them from last year, this year, you just watching the product, they're improved, and they believe. You got a bunch of guys out there that believe. I mean, look what they did with Florida. We're down 6-2, top 9th, and they tied up.
Right.
Made them a little bit nervous. They ended up winning on a walk-off bottom 9, but we made Florida a little bit nervous when we went there, which is exciting that they believe they can play with those guys, and they absolutely can.
We've talked about the revenue sharing that might come online this summer. Have you guys gotten closer to a decision on opt-in, opt-out, how that'll go?
Yeah, we're not going to opt in this fall, but we will opt in at 26. So we're 4 weeks from today from the judge settling that or approving that settlement. And so depending on how that goes, what other changes are in place, we want to see how the dust settles, and then we'll plan our attack on how we're going to go after this new NCAA model. But we will opt in 26, but we're going to take the next year to really plan it, make sure we do it right, and see how things progress, because there's more to come with this crazy NCAA world.
Jeff Bacon was in studio with us. Jeff Bacon is the commissioner of the ASUN, who lives here in town now, and our friend Caitlin Parsons was kind enough to bring Jeff by. Sharp guy, by the way. I was very impressed with him. He is hopeful everybody opts in. That was interesting. I asked him, do you have a position on this? He said, listen, I respect everything our institutions do. It may take a while, but our hope is that at some point all 12 of our athletic programs opt in. So I guess that's, and again, everybody's got their own agendas, and I understand that. But I think that's probably where we're going to land, isn't it?
Yeah, I think 3 or 4 are going to opt in right away.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that means for them opting in, like how aggressive they'll be with it right out of the gate. I could say we're opting in right now. The only thing I have to do is get our roster limits down.
Because that's the big thing. When you opt in, tell me the downside is you got to cut players.
Right.
What's the upside to opting in?
That you can share more revenue, more scholarship money. It gives you more. You can give more to the student athletes, which theoretically makes you more attractive in the recruiting process. We're not in a position to be able to do that right now, and I don't want to cut student athletes off rosters just for the sake of opting in.
Right.
So I've told all of our coaches, make sure you're at your roster limit by 26. That gives you a year and a half to figure it out, and so that's the game plan. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. And is there still talk that the final settlement they may tweak that roster exemption?
So the judge can't change the settlement terms. She can just approve it or kick it back to him and say, hey, these are my issues with the objections that came through. Okay. And then they would have to go back and basically renegotiate the settlement.
Okay.
And
so the roster limits are probably there to stay.
They're probably there to stay. But now that's one of the largest objections to the settlement is that, and the fact you still have a revenue sharing cap. So she's hearing all the feedback on that from the lawyers, but everything I'm hearing is this thing is still moving forward for an April 7th approval, and we will have a new NCAA model, and then they'll quickly start working on the rule book. They probably already are, but they'll quickly start sharing information on the new rule book and what that's going to look like. Meanwhile, the Power Four are still meeting to discuss their own governance structure and what that kind of looks like, and so that approval will only just start off a crazy series of more changes coming.
What a world in college athletics, no question. One thing that will stay the same. This is a fantastic golf tournament. That's cool. You told us about it last year too. The beach party over here at the country at the beach club, and then all these golfers getting to go to one of the most famous courses in America, which is really a cool thing. So congratulations on that. John's right behind us too. John, it doesn't happen without John Hays, who's standing right next to us or sitting next to us. Congratulations. And I mean that sincerely. I know what a big deal this is, and I know what a big deal it is to you guys. Congratulations on it.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys being out here.
All right. Nick Morrow, the AD at UNF. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll kind of more things happening with the Jaguars. We'll update you after this. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Bone-crushing blows to game-winning goals.
Yes!
Feel the energy on 1010XL.
History!
Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Lauren Brooks here. At Hodges Mazda, they are proud of their solid reputation in the Jacksonville community. As your hometown Mazda dealer, their high customer service standards and their huge inventory of new and used cars provide their customers a consistently first-rate car buying experience. Their professional non-commissioned sales team puts your best interests first without exception. And all new vehicle purchases include the Hodges Mazda Protection Package. Visit them online at HodgesMazda.com or stop in today to learn more and discover the Hodges Mazda difference.
One thing that separates Beard's Diamonds from those other jewelry stores at the town center, no one's paid on commission.
Nobody at Beard's is on commission. That's more of your corporate stores that pay commission.
Beard's owner, John Lupo, says that means no pressure, no hidden agenda, no extra markups.
And you're getting a better deal. You're not paying the corporate commission. You're not paying the salesperson's commission. But if they're paying their salespeople commission, you're starting off in the hole.
And that's why you feel like a number at most jewelry stores, because it's all about making the sale, but not at Beard's.
Because it's a corporate atmosphere and they want to sell you what they want to sell you. We're here to sell you what you want. Our salespeople can do whatever they want to make sure that the customer is happy.
So relax. At Beard's Diamonds, they have all the things you want, like quality education, selection, warranties, and none of the stuff you don't want, like pressure and tacked on commissions.
Nobody's making an extra 5 or 10% on Beard's customers.
Beard's Diamonds, the town center's only locally owned jeweler.
We sell better merchandise, better product for less money, guaranteed.
If you've been in an auto accident, you can count on the experts at San Jose Collision to return your vehicle to pre-accident conditions. San Jose Collision can also provide a fresh paint job to freshen up your vehicle or completely change its appearance. They can paint and repair all foreign and domestic cars and trucks. When quality and professionalism are important to you, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
It's time to keep the party going. All Parrot Heads unite once again with Jimmy Buffett's Coral Reefer Band.
It's 5 o'clock sun.
Live in Jacksonville.
Wasted away again.
Daly's Place, Saturday, March 15th. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Let's keep the party going with a tribute to Jimmy Buffett featuring the Coral Reefer Band. One night only, Saturday, March 15th, Daly's Place.
Mike Dempsey here. Look, it's been 10 years that I've been vouching for my guys at Dandy Boots, and for a decade, I'm proud of my association with a local family business. They make a great product. I've made no secret that I was a customer long before Dandy ever came on board on 1010XL. But I'm thinking I'm due a little Dandy swag, maybe a little love. How about a Dandy t-shirt, a ball cap? So how about it, Thompson family? What do you got going on over there? In the meantime, I'm going to keep eating those delicious tuna salad sandwiches. So guys, keep helping me out and grab a Dandy sandwich today.
Soccer continues to grow on the First Coast, and so does the need for better coverage. Join Cole Pepper, Mauricio Ruiz, and Becky Burley
on the Sporty Jack Soccer Hour, Tuesday nights at 6
on 1010 a.m.
Frank Frangie here from my bank, South State Bank. South State has been committed to delivering world-class customer service that businesses like yours and mine can count on. From personalized support to cutting-edge banking solutions, South State Bank has blended the trusted traditions we all value with the innovation you need for tomorrow. Whether you're managing cash flow or investing in growth, South State Bank is here to help you move forward. Visit southstatebank.com or visit your local branch today. That's South State, member FDIC.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
We're giving away free AC inspections to our wonderful customers who now call and schedule. But you must act today. A deal this good won't last forever. Call 904-862-6769. DuckDuckAC.com. Any required repairs are not included in the inspection.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS, right here in Jacksonville, is the only hair transplant clinic in the country that offers multi-unit hair grafting, FUE NeoGraft hair transplants, and the 45-minute effective PRP treatments.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
Thank you, IHRS.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Schedule a free evaluation and find out how to grow your hair back and keep the hair you have. Call 904-777-IHRS. Take the first step to restoring your hair today. Visit hairforme.com.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS has been restoring hair for men and women for over 30 years.
Call now for a free in-person or virtual evaluation. 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or visit hair4me.com.
I'm Max Fink here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. With free agency opening up today, first-year general manager James Gladstone is already making moves. On the defensive side of the ball, the Jaguars have been heavy adding to the secondary so far. Beginning at the cornerback position, it's the former Michigan Wolverine and Dallas Cowboys nickel cornerback Jordan Lewis to a 3-year, $30 million deal with $20 million guaranteed, making him the highest-paid nickel corner in NFL history. Lewis spent 8 seasons with the Cowboys, where he looked excellent in 2024 with a career-high 71 tackles, 8 pass breakups, and an interception. At the safety position, the Jaguars are bringing in former Houston Texan Eric Murray on a 3-year deal, $22 million, including $12 million guaranteed. Murray recorded a pick 6 in Houston's wild-card game against the Chargers. It's 67 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
All right, we thank our friends for the Best Bet. 3 great locations we've been telling you all day. St. Augustine is right there off I-95. 17 on UF 17 is where that Orange Park location has been there for the longest time. And, of course, Monument Road, the Jacksonville location. All kind of fun stuff going on. Weekends full of winning of the Best Bet. $1,000 high hands every 30 minutes. The Race Tour race is in full swing. The fastest to knock out hands win the big money. And, oh, by the way, St. Patrick's Day, which is a week from today, Best Bet is your lucky day. Went up to $5,000 with the Royal Flush in clubs. And you catch the action at all 3 of those great Best Bet locations. Frank Frangie, Hays Carlyon on location. JJ LaSelva back at World Headquarters. The news of the day, as you know, now, as you probably know, 9 players, according to reports, 9 free agents will join the Jaguars from other teams. I'll go through the list quickly. I won't go through every detail, but quarterback Nick Mullins, he'll be a backup. Cornerback Jordan Lewis, he got 3 years, $30 million. You would expect he will start somewhere. 2 tight ends, Johnny Munt and Hunter Long, are coming here. Eric Murray, a safety that we all would imagine will be a starting safety for this football team. Diami Brown is one I want you to keep an eye on. A 1-year deal. He got the only 1-year deal of the group from the Washington Commanders, only 25 years old, and there might really be something there. Patrick McCarry is an offensive lineman. He had probably the best deal of the group. 3 years, $37.5 million. He will start at one of those inside linebacker spots. Chuma Edoga, possibly, Hayes, you think a swing tackle, certainly a guy that he started 4 games for Dallas. He's been there. He started 13 games for the Jets and the Falcons before that, a 27-year-old veteran who's been around a little bit. And Robert Hainsey, a 26-year-old center, a 2-year starter in Tampa Bay, beat out by a rookie a year ago, but a good player, played in all their games. He got 3 years, $21 million. So that's 9 players, 1 quarterback, 1 receiver, 3 offensive linemen, 2 tight ends, and only 2 players on the defensive side, a cornerback and a safety. 9 players so far headed to the Jaguars in free agency, according to various reports.
Well, and let's focus on the offensive line for a minute. I mean, you're keeping 10 guys on your 53 in all likelihood. It could be less, it could be more, but usually it's around 10. Well, you've added 3 guys today that I think are going to make your club. So
it's a really good point.
I think you're going to draft at least 1 guy on day 1 or 2, obviously making your club. So when you look at this offensive line, it really has been transformed today in terms of the number, because if they've signed 3 free agents, knowing that a draft pick is in all likelihood coming in a very probably premium pick, probably in the 2nd, 3rd round, well, that's 4 players that, in addition to your Walker Little, your Anton Harrison, Ezra Cleveland, guys that are
3 guys who are going to be on the team,
be in the mix.
Yeah.
So you basically have remade the room on the first day of free agency, which again I think should excite Jaguars fans.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right. I said it before we brought in Nick Morrow. I'll say it again now. They have to get how many times have we been saying this? They have to get more physical at the lines of scrimmage. That might have been the biggest weak area, the weakest area of that football team last year. Safety was a weak area. They struggled at the safety position. We all know that. But they've got to get better at those 2 lines of scrimmage. And by all accounts, I don't think there's any doubt they brought in 2 starting offensive linemen in Robert Hainsey and Patrick McCarry, and a guy Chuma Udoga who's going to certainly compete for one of the other spots. So they might have brought in 3 starting offensive linemen today. I don't think there's any doubt they brought in 2. I don't think there's any doubt, is there?
No, and I think they're going to draft a guy that is going to start.
Yeah, I don't think they're drafting O-line at 5.
No.
But I do think they're going to draft an offensive lineman from whom, I agree with you, from whom they have expectations right out of the gate. I agree with that.
Yeah, so I mean, again, we've talked about it. It was the number one thing that they had to address, and Liam Cohen, in the scrum with reporters was like, you guys know the issues. I mean, they haven't tried to hide anything. Yeah. I mean, they everybody knows.
Yeah.
The offensive line hasn't been up to the standard it should be at from a physical. It was built under Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke. It was built as a finesse line that prioritized, we want a guard that can get 50 yards downfield on a screen. Well, that's great, but you're going to run that play once or twice a game. You need to focus on the 95% of the offensive plan, which is, can the guy move a defensive player? And I think these are signs today that they're getting back to that. And again, creating that competition. The starting left tackle here got a contract extension from the previous administration, got a contract extension, and had never won a job in training camp. So they are absolutely going to push Walker Little to show that he can show up, that he can be sharp, that he can be a leader, that he can lock down that left tackle job. And if he slips, he's going to get beat.
And let me say this, too, about this group. And I hope you were listening again to our show on Friday. And not just our show, a lot of shows. It's not like we had any market corner, but we gave you our opinion on this. This was not going to be a class where everybody knew all the names. You asked me point blank, you asked me on Friday's show that I think there was anything to DK Metcalf, Cooper Kupp or Chris Godwin. And I told you I don't think they're interested in any of the three. And so fans don't get, if there's rumors or talk out there that they may be after, and I can see why people would think Godwin. He was in Tampa Bay and Liam was in Tampa Bay, but don't be dismayed because it's not names you knew. Don't be dismayed. That's why, again, I don't think they were ever interested in Metcalf. How expensive he would be.
Right.
Metcalf, Kupp, or Godwin. I don't think that was ever in the plans.
Lewis, McCurry, and Murray add up to what DK Metcalf is per year.
That's right, and that's three really important players. So I don't think those guys were ever in the plan. I felt bad. I think fans get excited about names they know, but they weren't. But the group, the 9 they got. Now we'll see if they're right or not. Again, I'm not going to act like I know these guys. I don't. But I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to get more physical. You said it best. They're trying to elevate the floor. That's been really the best phrase of all. And
it came from James Gladstone.
And he said it at the Combine. You have to elevate the floor and make your overall football team better. Today wasn't about going and getting megastars. You get your megastars, I'll say it again. The best players on this football team, they drafted. They drafted their quarterback. They drafted both offensive tackles. They drafted both pass rushers. They drafted their cornerback. They drafted their mega receiver from last year. They drafted both running backs. The best football players on this team, there's almost no exceptions. Afoye Oluwakun's an exception, but there's very few exceptions if you look at their best players.
Right. Now that Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram are
that's
gone.
right.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
They drafted their core.
Yeah. I would say other than Afoye Oluwakun, the best players on this team are guys they drafted. And I think what this haul of 9 players tells me, there's some good players here. They're going to get tougher. They're going to get more physical. Again, every player on here is between 25 and 31 years old. So they didn't go out and get a 22, 23-year-old young guy. They didn't go out and get a 35-year-old guy that's got 2 years left in the league, if that. They went on and got guys that it's very clear their core. And I'll bet you, well, heck, 5 of the guys are either tight ends or offensive linemen.
Right.
So, but I'll bet you most of these guys are physical football players that make them more physical than they were in the 2024 season. More than anything else, that is the message or the theme as I see it with these guys.
Well, the 2 tight ends have been blockers their entire career, or special teams guys in the NFL. I mean, Munt has caught 65 passes and he's, in his 30s. And Long, I think, has 8 or 9 career receptions.
I got 7 for 60.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, obviously, those guys are blockers,
so they in that case they drafted 5 blockers.
So they've drafted 5 guys today. They've agreed to terms with 5 guys.
5 blockers
that should absolutely help in terms of the physicality. It should help in the ground game, and again, that's been. And none of us have confidence on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 or a goal line situation that they're going to get it.
Yeah.
And this isn't even a Doug Peterson Trent Baalke. This goes back years.
That's right.
That they haven't been able to do it. So and Tony Boselli is cognizant. He's had a firsthand look at all that for all those years with you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And by the way, if Trevor Lawrence in his postseason, even after Doug was fired and after all that happened. I don't know if Trevor's asked exactly what went wrong, but that was the message. That was the message of the question. He said we couldn't run the ball. He said at the end of the day, why were we predictable? Well, when you can't run the ball, everybody's predictable, and they couldn't run the ball. They weren't predictable because they didn't know what to call. They were predictable because when they ran it, it didn't work, so you had to pass. There's only running and passing. There's not a bunch of options, okay? There's running and passing. Then if you can't run, then everybody pretty much knows you're going to pass. And so
I'm really intrigued to see what becomes of Ezra Cleveland. Do you think that they view him as the starting left guard right now?
That's a great question. I would be guessing at that. I don't know.
Because I don't think they do.
Yeah, I know this. He is to Hays' point where Hays is going with this, he is a very athletic offensive lineman. I'm not certain. I'm not going to say he's not physical. Yeah. I don't know. I don't watch the line play.
They can't cut him.
Yeah,
they just did the deal.
But I don't know.
Not them, but
if he is a physical offensive lineman or not. What I do know is if they make center and right guard more physical, maybe that makes the line more physical. I would guess Ezra Cleveland is going to have every chance to earn that job. I think they think in their back of their minds he's not going to be their guy. I don't think that, but I don't know exactly where they are with him, and I'd be guessing at that. But I hear your point. Here's what I will tell you: I think Robert Hainsey is going to be their center.
Right.
And I think Patrick McCarry is going to be their right guard. Call me crazy, but I'm an out of the box thinker like that. So, but I do think that, and
you got 2 offensive tackles, so that guard, high second round guard or third round guard, that could be the player to replace Ezra Cleveland.
Because I'm not convinced they went and got Chuma Edoga to sit on the bench. I mean, maybe he's a swing whatever. But I don't know that he does. Again, he had to agree to come here.
Right.
Okay? I don't know that he was agreeing to come be a backup. He was a backup in Dallas. It's the Dallas Cowboys. Now maybe they're paying him more because I don't think we have the numbers on what he's making. But, I think the point is, I don't think Chuma Edoga is necessarily saying, man, I can't wait to get to Jacksonville.
He's been told he's going to compete.
That's exactly right.
Job.
Or he doesn't come.
Right.
I don't think there's any question about that. If he's not been told that, he doesn't come. So that's the remaking of this offensive front. All right. We got a lot going on in the world of sports. We've touched on virtually nothing but the hate and the NFL. Hays will wrap a lot of it up on headlines. It comes up next on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Every game is a story.
And the game is tied.
Every play is a moment waiting to happen.
We're going to overtime.
Your home for the most play-by-play is 1010XL.
This is Hays Carlyon for Harold and Harold. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harold and Harold. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
Here's Linda Beaver.
It's a new year with new goals, but let's face it, not all resolutions are easy to keep. Maybe you promised yourself you'd eat healthier, but pizza still seems like a better idea. Or you said you'd read more, but your favorite show just launched a new season. At Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet, we can help you keep your New Year's resolution. We offer the biggest selection, best prices, and the easiest car buying experience. Let's make a resolution to visit Beaver Toyota or Beaver Chevrolet, where we'll wow you with a new ride for the new year.
Don't miss the Players' Championship, March 11th through 16th at TPC Sawgrass. This can't-miss event features a variety of activities for every fan to enjoy, from delicious bites to the Sawgrass Splash. There are endless fan enhancements that will make for a memorable experience. Plus, watch the top PGA Tour players, including back-to-back champion Scottie Scheffler, take on the iconic stadium course featuring the famous Island Green. Tickets available at theplayers.com.
Denny Thompson here. You gotta check out Tyson's Showroom Home Theater with surround sound and comfy theater chairs. You can transform your living room into a cinematic experience. I can stay there to watch all my games. It's that comfortable. Call Tyson today and bring the theater experience home. Tyson Sound and Security, your security, home theater, and home automation experts. New showroom at 3555 U.S. Highway 17 in Fleming, Iowa.
Frank Frangie here for Bono's Pit Barbecue. Bono's has been serving Jacksonville's best barbecue for over 75 years. And now, catch this. Bono's new limited time offer features an Atlantic fried cod platter with 2 pieces of mouth-watering fried cod and 1 southern side for $15.49, or a fried cod sandwich with 1 southern side for $12.99. You can't beat that deal. And after 1 bite, you'll be hooked. So you better hurry in. The fried cod platter right now at Bono's. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, congratulating our Scholar Athlete of the Week, Jasmine Cross, senior flag football and basketball player at Fletcher High. Jasmine was all-conference last year and is a member of the National and Spanish Honor Societies. Congratulations, Jasmine.
Anytime you've got major plumbing problems, and even the minor ones, there's several potential causes, and they usually can't be easily detected. So don't guess at a solution. Hire Roland Reese Plumbing at plumbingjacksonville.com.
Chose C for CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. They can transform your backyard with fire pits, pergolas, screen enclosures, and outdoor kitchens. And CSS handles the entire project from start to finish. You dream it, they build it. CSSOutdoor.com.
The experts at AMCO have been fixing cars for almost 60 years. Over that time, they've gotten more complex than ever. That's why our techs undergo rigorous training and certifications, so they can fix anything. including the most complicated repairs that come with some of the latest technologies. After 60 years, there's nothing we haven't seen or fixed. It's how we know cars inside and out.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia.
The housing market is as busy as ever on the First Coast. And if you've moved in or moved on, make sure you have a team of trained electricians ready to help. American Electrical can make sure you're up to date electrically and maximize your living experience. Smart home automation services, home theater systems, outdoor and dock lighting, and backup generators. American Electrical can do it all. A team you can trust with highly trained technicians ensuring you have the best living experience. American-Electrical.com, a leader on the First Coast and powered by professionalism.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here. In the past 10 years, the weight loss industry has seen it all. New medications, fad diets, sculpting, and still, Awaken 180 continues to stand alone as the proven solution for weight loss online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Reclaim a pain-free life with Rebound Rehab. If you've been injured or simply feeling the effects of an active life, you can rely on Rebound Rehabilitation to get you back in the game. Sitting on the sidelines isn't any fun. Trust Rebound Rehab's team of trained physical therapists to get you back up to speed and feeling full again. Now more convenient than ever. 11 locations to serve you, including new offices in Riverside across from St. Vincent's, Point Meadows, and Middleburg. Just log on to reboundrehab.com to see all they've got to offer.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hays' Headlines, presented by Harold & Harold. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hays Carlyon.
All right, welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank, we're going to kick it off with Jaguars. We've got a lot to get to. 9 players have agreed to terms with the Jaguars so far. Who's caught your eye? And give us an overview of the work you think James Gladstone and Liam Cohen and Tony Baselli have done today.
First of all, let me get through this twister that is hit here.
A cow.
I mean, good Lord. If I get through the twister, I'll tell you. I just said hello to Helen Hunt a minute ago. I think what stood out to me, Hayes, are the offensive linemen. They're trying to get more physical. I think what jumped off the page for me is Patrick McCarry is a very physical offensive lineman. He will be a starter. Robert Hainsey is the center now. I would imagine he will be their center with Mitch Morse retired. And Chuma Edoga, if I'm saying his name right. I think they had to get more physical. 2 blocking tight ends, 3 good blockers along the offensive front. I think that was first. The other one is Diami Brown. I do know the little bit of inside information we did have is I knew they had some interest in a receiver, an under-the-radar receiver who they think might be special. I did know that. I told you that. I knew before today. I had no idea who it was. And honestly, if I'm being honest, I don't know that I had heard of Diami Brown, if I'm telling you the truth. So I didn't know which one it would be. But I did know they had identified a receiver that they thought was going to be special or had a chance to. It's a 1-year deal, so he's got to prove he's special. But they thought a guy that they thought they're giving him $10 million for that 1 year. So there was one guy that they thought might be a guy if he got a chance to be the guy. And so I'm real intrigued to watch and see if they're right about that.
Let's get it to around the NFL. We will start in the AFC South, where one of the best players historically in that division is on his way out the door. That is Laramie Tunsil. The Houston Texans trade him to Washington today for a few draft picks, the best being a 2026 second-round pick. But Houston star left tackle Laramie Tunsil now to the Commanders.
What a bizarre season for him. He couldn't quit false starting. He committed penalty after penalty after penalty. And I know because I know people with the organization, they got fed up with it. And so they're getting a lot of picks back. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler. The guy's a good player. But the mental lapses last year, they believe cost them, and they move on from Laramie Tunsil.
Seattle has really been the the most active probably team. It started Friday night when Seattle traded quarterback Geno Smith to the Raiders for a third-round pick. Then 2 days later, Seattle trades star receiver DK Metcalf to the Steelers for a second-round pick. And then Seattle makes another bold move today, agreeing to terms with quarterback Sam Darnold on a 3-year, $105 million deal. Do you like what the Seahawks have done?
I really want to see what Sam Darnold has. He had a wonderful season with Minnesota. We got to see him one time, and he wasn't very good. Now, that's one game, and I get that, but he wasn't very good that one game here. He got a bunch of money. We'll see. But, yeah, Seattle believes they're trying to kind of redo it a little bit, and they had a plan. I'm very interested in DK Metcalf to the Steelers. They rarely go after a guy like that. Their receiving core has been miserable. I'm not sure. I was never a big fan of Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. I love, but I didn't think he was very good last year either. Is Aaron Rodgers really in play in Pittsburgh, which is the story that's starting to develop a little bit? So that interests me. The Seahawks certainly do. And I'm interested to see what happens with Geno Smith in the Raiders, Hayes. I think that all that whole quarterback receiver thing, the way that whole thing all played out, I'm very intrigued to see where it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. The Patriots have been very aggressive today, early agreeing to terms with a key defender at really every level of their defense. Defensive tackle Milton Williams, linebacker Robert Spillane, and cornerback Carlton Davis, all now agreeing to terms with the New England Patriots.
Yeah, they were the big – you knew who was going to go. You knew with all their cap space, there goes another cow. You knew with all –
Boy, how are these guys keeping the golf ball on the course in this?
You can't imagine, folks, how hard the wind's blowing out here right now. And this course is brutally hard anyway.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine it. I mean, we got goldfish all over our table for crying out loud. Not the kind that swim, the kind you eat. They're everywhere on the table. You knew the Patriots, because of their cap space, they're used to being good and they've been lousy. So they're going to go try. They believe they've got a good young quarterback. They believe they got the right coach who will breathe some toughness into them. Go get as many veteran players as you can. So I'm not surprised. And I think Milton Williams is a good player, by the way. He might have been the best. Hayes, he might have been the best player in free agency, and they got a good one.
The New York Jets have signed, or will sign, come Wednesday at 4 o'clock, quarterback Justin Fields to a 2-year, $40 million deal. Is that a good move?
They had to do something. The Aaron Rodgers thing failed miserably. The Zach Wilson thing failed miserably. He's a guy with great upside. By all accounts, a wonderful kid, a wonderful young guy, a wonderful teammate, and a great athlete. I don't know if he's a very accurate passer. He's more accurate than Anthony Richardson, but I don't know that he's I'm just watching the whole thing in Pittsburgh. They were really reluctant to play him. If Russell Wilson had been lighting it up, I would have thought, okay, well, there's a reason he's behind Russell Wilson. But the good thing for Justin Fields, it's now his team. It's now his team, and he's a little older than when he was in Chicago and it was his team. And by all accounts, this is his time. I don't know if he's a good player, so I guess we'll find out.
The Bucs are keeping receiver Chris Godwin on a 3-year, $66 million deal.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Like I said, I never thought the Jags were interested in him. No matter what reports you saw out there, I never believed the Jags were going to ever pursue he or Cooper Kupp or DK Metcalf. Yeah, and good for the Bucs, by the way. They're trying to keep the band together. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin is your pass catchers. Baker Mayfield, who has emerged in a division that's not a very good division and hasn't been for a while. Keep the band together and try to keep winning that thing. I'm not surprised at all.
The Rams make a bold move, signing receiver Devontae Adams, who was a free agent, so that's official, to a 2-year deal.
The team that goes and gets Devontae Adams is saying it's time for us to win right now. It's not surprising that a few days after they finally solved the Matt Stafford stuff, which was crazy to you and I that it was even a stuff, but not long after they solved that, I'm not surprised, Hayes, that they go get him a pass catcher. The Rams are trying to win the Super Bowl next year. Make no mistake about that. The Rams have one. The Rams' goal is the next Super Bowl.
Myles Garrett is staying in Cleveland after agreeing on a new deal. That pays him $40 million a season.
That one did surprise me. He made it clear he wanted out of there, wanted to go play for a winner. I'll give the Browns credit. The Browns said, "Listen, we're not trading you. That's the end of the conversation. We're not going to trade you. But if you're willing to commit yourself here, we will pay you." And I think he had no choice. They weren't trading him, and I still think he wanted out. He said he had a change of heart. He had a change of heart. They said, "We're not trading you. We're not going to trade you, but we will pay you," and this is the end result.
Yeah, a couple other key veterans getting huge deals. We'll start in Buffalo. The Bills have reached an extension with quarterback Josh Allen for $330 million. That includes a record guarantee of $250 million. This deal will keep the 28-year-old Allen in Buffalo until at least his mid-30s.
And that's how it should be. I miss the days where the star player, in every sport, not just football, the star player plays for one team. And the NFL's done a better job of that of late. Good for them and good for him. He's a really good player.
Without a doubt. Panthers signed cornerback J.C. Horn to a 4-year, $100 million extension, making him the highest-paid defensive back in NFL history.
They're ready to win now too. I don't know how. I don't know who their quarterback's going to be, but they're trying to win right now too. That one surprised me a little bit because of the enormity of the money.
Let's get it to college basketball. Florida concludes a brilliant regular season, defeating Ole Miss 90-71 on senior night. The Gators finished the regular season 27-4 with a 14-4 record in SEC play. Walter Clayton Jr. led UF with 23 points and 8 assists, while Alex Condon had a double-double with 17 points and 15 rebounds. The Gators own the interior, shooting 68% from two-point range. And they also made 14 threes.
This is an Ole Miss team that just beat Tennessee 4 days earlier. Beat Tennessee, and Florida gutted them. It's the 11th double-digit win of their 14 wins in the SEC. Hays, that is one of the greatest regular seasons in UF school history in any sport. Given the strength of that league, given the challenges of that league, I put it up there with 95, 96 football. I put it up there with 06, 08, 09 football. I put it up there with baseball national championship. It's one of the greatest regular seasons in the history of Florida athletics. Now, look, you're measured on what happens now. You're not legacies aren't made from what happens in the regular season. Legacies are made based on what you do in March and hopefully the beginning of April. But right now, it's amazing. We'll talk more as the week goes on about them. What Alex Condon has become, I'm afraid he may be gone. 17 and 15. He's become, and he's essentially a 7-footer that runs like a 6'5" guard. He is his emergence after the injury is one more amazing. So they have a great team. I'm telling you, they have as good a chance to win the national championship as everybody. I watched the second half of Duke, North Carolina. I finally locked in on Duke. Florida would beat Duke. Florida played them right now. Florida would beat. I believe in all my heart, Florida would beat Duke. So we'll see what happens.
The Gators are now off until Friday at 7 p.m. when they will face likely 7th-seeded Missouri, who will have to take down the LSU Mississippi State winner on Thursday. UF will look to solidify its hold on a potential 1 seed. It's a good draw with number 1 seed Auburn, 4th seed Tennessee, and 5th seeded Texas A&M in the other half of the bracket. Also, the Gators moved up a spot to 4th in today's new AP Top 25.
I think they're a 1 seed right now. I think if they win against either Missouri or Mississippi State, I don't think it'll be LSU. I think if they win against Missouri or Mississippi State on Friday night, they are a 1 seed even if they lose. Conventional thinking is if Alabama or Tennessee won the tournament, they could move ahead of them. I don't think so. I think Florida's the one in the West. Long as they win on Friday, no matter what else happens. That's what I said, by the way, when they played Auburn, whenever that was, I said on my 10-10 take, if they win that game, they're going to be a 1 seed. They did, and I think they will.
FSU sends Leonard Hamilton out a winner at home with a 76-69 upset over 22-win SMU. Hamilton is retiring after 23 years guiding the Noles. FSU is an 11 seed in the ACC tournament and will play 4th-seeded Syracuse in tomorrow's first round. The winner gets 6th seed SMU.
I think the amount of former players and former staff members that showed up was a really cool thing. What a testament to what a man that guy. Forget the basketball coach for a second. He had some really good runs. Might have had a national championship team in 20 that didn't get to play because there was no tournament. But they haven't won as many games as FSU fans would have liked. Everybody knows that. But what a testament, I mean this very sincerely, to the man, the amount of people that showed up that said thank you to Coach Ham. I thought it was the coolest thing around, and good for Leonard Hamilton. What a marvelous career. Never got to the mountaintop, but boy, he certainly got near it and walked away as one of the most respected people in the game. There's a movement in Tallahassee to recommend him for the college basketball or the basketball hall. I think he belongs in. All those wins, all those years, and handled it with with dignity and respect from the day he stepped on the floor. I really believe that.
Rick Pitino, the 22-year-old Wizard, directed number 6 St. John's to an 86-84 win at 20th-ranked Marquette on a buzzer beater in overtime. The Red Storm, who had already clinched their first Big East title since 1985, completed the regular season 27-4 and 18-2 in Big East play. Frank, you got to give Pitino Coach of the Year nationally, right?
I think so too. I wouldn't mind our guy getting some votes, but I hear you. What will they be? A 2 seed?
2 or 3?
A 2. They could be a 2. I don't want them. I don't want to play them. I want to play them at 9:07 in San Antonio on Monday night, April 7th. Can we get that done?
That'd be nice.
That's what I'm looking for.
That'd be a great
or
story.
April 8th or whatever it is.
Let's get it to golf. The Arnold Palmer Invitational was this past weekend. Russell Henley chips in for Eagle to beat Colin Morikawa by a stroke. Henley fired a 2-under-70 in the final round to collect the $4 million winner's check.
So he's in the rough, and Morikawa's got a shot lead on number 16, as you said, and it was a good lie. Hays, I was watching, when he hit it, I said, oh my God, he ran that by. Hit the stick and went in. If it doesn't hit the stick, it's still going. And I felt for Morikawa, who played really well the entire time. But he lost by a stroke. He had one bogey down the stretch, and Henley made the big. I mean, it was a great chip. He chipped in for Eagle, and that won him the golf tournament and $4 million.
The Players' Championship starts in terms of festivities tomorrow with the practice round kicking off. The Players has released their first featured group, and Frank, it's a big one. Two-time defending champion Scottie Scheffler will be playing with Rory McIlroy, a former Players champion, and Xander Schauffele, who very many people will pick to win his first Players Championship this weekend.
How about that group? How about Scottie and Rory together? Scottie, Rory, and you would be a good group.
Yes, that's true.
I mean, what a group that'll be. So that'll be. I can't wait. I can't wait to get out there. I can't wait to watch them practice tomorrow and Wednesday. The Military Appreciation Day is such a magical day, and that'll be tomorrow. And I really can't wait till it starts for real on Thursday. I'm looking forward to it.
Let's get it to the NBA. History made Friday night as Denver star Nikola Jokic recorded the first 30-20-20 game in league history in a 149-141 overtime win over Phoenix. The Joker scored 31 points, grabbed 21 rebounds, and dished out a career-high 22 assists. He's a center.
Yeah, but he is a marvelous player. I mean, he is a magnificent. Saw him in the finals. The finals were when people like you and I finally watched.
Right.
And then you can really see how good he is. He's a magnificent player, no question about it.
We will get you out on our musical note of the day because Sunday was an important anniversary in rock and roll. It marked the 38th anniversary of U2 releasing its 5th studio album, The Joshua Tree. The classic is one of the most successful albums of all time, selling over 25 million copies and was widely praised by critics. This is Where the Streets Have No Name.
Great song, great album, iconic song, iconic album, and frankly, you could make the argument that of bands that started in the 80s, they may be the greatest band of all time. If that's the barometer, a band that never broke in until the 80s might be the greatest band of all time. Great work as always.
Thank you.
Back at Sawgrass to wrap the program after this.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
College basketball heading into championship week, and the Duke Blue Devils remaining the betting favorite to win the NCAA championship with the Selection Sunday coming up this weekend. The Blue Devils are plus 320, the Auburn Tigers plus 375, the Florida Gators plus 650 to win the national title, the Houston Cougars plus 750, Alabama plus 1,200, and the Tennessee Volunteers are plus 1,600. The UConn women's basketball team plus 300 to win the NCAA championship. The defending champion South Carolina Gamecocks also at plus 300. USC plus 575. UCLA plus 600. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Trying to figure pricing at most AC companies is like listening to an auctioneer.
Who wants an AC tune-up? Do I hear $3.99? How about $2.99? No, let's drop it. $79? Do we have a deal? Going once, going twice? Sold!
Not at Duck Duck Air Conditioning. We make it easy. We're offering a free AC inspection. No gimmicks, no fine print, just a completely free checkup from our highly trained techs to make sure your AC is ready for summer. Call 904-862-6769 now to schedule. Duck Duck Air Conditioning, because free is better than bidding. Any required repairs are not included in the inspection.
Florida homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Universal Roof and Contract protects your home and your wallet. Invest in a stronger roof and save big. Spend $6,000 and get up to $600 off. $15,000 up to $2,000 off. $20,000 up to $3,000 off. This deal ends March 31st. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
Happy New Year from everyone at Nimnik Chevrolet. Now look, as they begin 2025, Nimnik is so excited to offer even more choices and better prices for you, ensuring your car buying experience is second to none. And if you're wondering where to go for a better buying experience, it's simple. Nobody but Nimnik. So here's to another year of driving forward together. And don't forget now, in this new year means new truck time at Nimnik Chevrolet. This month, you can save up to $12,000 off a new Silverado. Unlike most dealerships, Nimnik Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. And with their extensive selection, you're sure to find the perfect truck at Nimnik. Available now, the all-new Silverado EV, designed to go the distance. It boasts 440 miles of range, more standard range than any competitor, and ask about a terrific low rate as well. So who's got more new Silverados at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnik Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Pick it here for About 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of About 9. Visit About 9 Associates today and experience the difference. About 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
When you step into a courtroom, you're stepping into a fight. Someone wins, someone loses. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we've got the experience you want in your corner if you or a loved one suffer a personal injury or a wrongful death. We're here to fight for you. So if you get hit, hit back with Hastings Injury Law, offices Jacksonville. Find us on the web at 904hitback.com or call our 24-hour helpline, 904-HITBACK.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Get this thing unwrapped here.
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Daily Stash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, you know, like me. I'm sure there's a Daily Stash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course.
Oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Daily Stash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Daily Stash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists congratulating our Scholar Athlete of the Week, Amelia Tucker, senior varsity track and field and soccer player at Wilson High. Amelia is involved with student government and is a member of the National Honor Society. Congratulations, Amelia.
Hello,
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Welcome to ABS Advanced Business Solutions, your local authorized technology partner and home to Xerox copiers.
Advanced Business Solutions.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
All right, where have we been in the course of the show today? Well, it's been mostly all Jaguar stuff. Today's the first day of legal tampering. 9 new Jaguars in the fold so far. Again, they can't be announced until Wednesday. You know the rules. That's when the league year really starts. But today's the day. You can have conversations. You can talk. Legal tampering is what they call it. That's the cool little name, which means all the reports come out of who's going where and how much money they're getting. And so 9 different Jaguars. We'll go over who they are in just a bit. We've talked about that today. Nick Morrow, our friend, the UNF AD, always great to be out here. One of the best college golf tournaments. Nick said it's clearly one of the 10 best in the country and rising. The John Haidt, we love being out here. A number of different teams. UNF a little bit off. By the way, we can't keep scores because they're still on the golf course. They got a delay. Typically by now they're done, but all the teams are still on the golf course, so there's no really scores to report. But we'll certainly let you know in days to come who did well. We certainly talked about that. Hays caught up with everything in headlines, including that Gator basketball team. We'll talk more about them certainly as the week goes on, but today really was all about the NFL and all about the Jaguars, and that's where we've been on the course of the show today. One more time, let's catch you up. The players the Jags added: cornerback Jordan Lewis from Dallas, 3 years, $30 million. Backup quarterback Nick Mullins from Minnesota, 2 years, $6.5. 2 tight ends: Johnny Munt from the Vikings, 2 years, $55. Hunter Long from the Rams, 2 years, $5 million. Eric Murray, a safety from the Texans, who I believe will start, 3 years, $22.5. Diami Brown, a wide receiver from Washington, 1 year, $10. He got the only 1-year deal of the group, kind of a show me year for $10 million. That means they think he's pretty good to pay him that for the 1 year. Patrick McCarry, maybe the most important guy, the most expensive guy they signed for multiple years, 3 years, $37.5 million. He'll be, we think, their right guard. Chuma Edoga from the Dallas Cowboys, 4 years. He'll be a backup offensive lineman, but he'll probably compete for a starting spot. And then the last one we heard, Hayes, Robert Hainsey, a 2-year starter at Tampa Bay, a backup center last year, 3 years, $21 million. So 9 different players, 3 offensive linemen, and 2 tight ends. So 5 blockers of the 9 players. Also, there's a safety, there's a cornerback, there's a backup quarterback, and a wide receiver. That's the group.
Yeah, I mean, it was going to be physicality was going to be the emphasis, and it has been.
Clearly. 3
offensive linemen and 2 blocking tight ends to round out that room, with obviously Brenton Strange now being the top pass catcher in the tight end group for the Jaguars. And then they needed help in the secondary. They needed safety help. They get that in Eric Murray. They needed corner help. They get that with Jordan Lewis. It'll be fascinating to see the plan with Jarian Jones now, because I would think Jordan Lewis is the nickel, so I would imagine that they want to give Jarian a shot on the perimeter, but we'll see. But the big thing is, James Gladstone said it at the Combine, we will elevate the floor of this roster immediately. They have done that. They have done it with players that most of these coaches or front office guys are familiar with. Long comes from the Rams. Mund comes from the Vikings. So you've got some familiarity there. These guys show up. They know the terminology. They know the skill sets they have. The Liam Cohen, he knows how to employ that. And so, but at the end of the day, this was about, you figure they keep 10 offensive linemen once the initial 53 is set. Well, all 3 of these guys are making the team. That I can assure you. So assuming everybody's healthy, well, that's 30% of your guys. obviously you've got Walker Little, Anton Harrison, Ezra Cleveland. So those are 3 guys coming back that have started a lot of games here. And then I firmly am convinced that they are going to invest, at worst, their second, third round pick on an interior offensive lineman. So 3 today, you got to figure at least 1 more is coming through the draft. So that's 4 to go in addition to your 3. Well, that's 7 guys now before you get to the Cooper Hodgeses of the world and the guys that are in-house that, the Van Lannens, guys like that. The offensive line room got way more competitive today, and it needed to.
I believe that they have brought in 4 starters today. Jordan Lewis, a cornerback, either outside or probably the nickel corner. That's what he's been playing. Eric Murray, who I think will definitely start at safety. Patrick McCarry, who I think will be their right guard. And Robert Hainsey, who I think will be their center. And I'll even throw in a 5th guy. I think Diami Brown is going to be a starter. You're paying him $10 million. That's a lot of money for a one-year deal. And I think they saw something in here. I knew they found a receiver that they thought was an under-the-radar guy that they think might be special. So Lewis, Murray, Brown, McCarry, and Hainsey, that's 5 guys that as I sit here today, and it's March 10th, who knows how I'm going to feel in September, but as I sit here on March 10th, that's 5 guys that I think are going to be starters for this football team. And I don't know that Chuma Edoga won't work his way in too, but I think 5 guys from today are going to be starters for the Jaguars that we heard about today. By the way, Charvarius Ward, one of the best cornerbacks on the market, agreed to terms with the Colts, so he'll be in the division. 3 years, $60 million, so $20 million a year for Ward, who's a very good player.
Yeah, that's a good move for the Colts. Still curious about what they're going to do there at quarterback. They've said it's going to be an open competition, but who are they bringing in to compete with Anthony Richardson? So it still feels like the Colts are a little lost in the wilderness to me, but that is a good signing. So we'll see. That certainly will help their secondary.
Yeah, are the Jags done?
No.
Even in free agency?
I don't think they're done in free agency. Now I don't think it'll be. I think,
but you could see another guy or two,
without a doubt.
Yeah, I know we said on Friday. I know the number I said was 8 or 9 guys. Well, they're at 9, so it won't be a whole lot more. But I agree with you. I don't know that they're done yet. Remember when Kirk was let go, when Ingram was cut, Mitch Morse retired, Ronald Darby was let go, Devin Duvernay was let go, Josh Reynolds was, like you made a good point. There's some backup guys that were worth more money than you would have expected that they would have been worth. You knew they were creating money. We had this conversation on the Friday program that it's not to go get the one big, let's give the house to Milton Williams. It was, let's go get a number of players and raise that floor, as you've said a few times, and as James Gladstone said, and quantity over quality in name. That doesn't mean the quality's not there in play, but in terms of the names it is certainly that. So that's what they did, and I'm kind of glad they did it. Let's say hello to our pal Rick Ballou.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. Find the coolest cats in town at coolcatsjacks.com.
Rick, 9 new Jaguars so far. What did you think of the group?
I'm a little perplexed. I am. I understand what they're trying to do here. They're not making a big splash. You're just trying to improve the roster, and you could have 4 starters here. You could have a 5th starter here. So a little surprised by some of the names. Very surprised that they're getting much older in the secondary. I thought that there would have been youth movement there. But I do like what they've done to try to address the offensive line. I think that's the best part of the day that this new organization has done. And those signings came in a little bit later. This Robert Hainsley guy is interesting. He's the only one that we actually had right. We talked about him a lot on the program. I mean, he was a 2-year starter there before Graham Barton came in. So, obviously, Liam Cohen thinks that you can bring him back. He's paid him as a starter, and he can take over there for Mitch Morse and hopefully be the guy who's protecting Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, so we will certainly see, and you're right. I think 5 starters on this group. We'll see if it plays out that way. What's coming up tonight? A lot of that, I'd imagine.
Yeah, we got all of this coming up here over the next couple of hours, and it's interesting to see how organizations are handling things. Again, you had 7 coaching changes, you had a couple general manager changes, and teams like the New England Patriots are really overspending. Pretty surprised by some moves that have been made in the AFC South. that I don't necessarily agree with. So most of our time will be on the Jaguars, but we'll take a look at everything that's going on. And we expect more to come in tonight as well as far as free agency.
I agree with you, Rick. It'll be worth listening to. I promise you, Rick will have some good takes on all of it. Thanks, Rick. We appreciate it, buddy.
Frank
Blue goes into the night, and that comes up right now. Folks, that'll do it for our program. Thanks for being part of it. We appreciate you listening. Certainly great to be out here at the Hays. What a wonderful job they do. One of the best collegiate golf tournaments in the country, and it was great to be part of it. Tomorrow, more golf all week long. We'll be the players. Come on out and see us. We'll be the Palm Village, I think it's called.
Yeah, Palm Valley Village.
Palm Valley Village, that's it. Right near the 9th tee, and a lot of the media will be there. Or 9th green, I'm sorry. A lot of the media will be there. Come by and say hello. We'll see you we'll still be in Sawgrass, just another part of Sawgrass. That comes up tomorrow. Don't go anywhere. Rick's next. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.